with theft of property, $2,500 to $30,000. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine.
Welcome to Elite Justice Network.
Calling 2025 CR 002-899, State versus Richard Ibanz. Can I have parties announced?
Lawrence knows for the state.
Renee Munoz on behalf of Mr. Ibanez.
Oh, Deputy Laura, could you move into the end? And are you Mr. Ibanez? All right. Counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
And probation, this is an application.
Okay.
And Mr. Ibanez, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Okay. Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ibanez, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and cite it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
You're charged with theft of property, $2,500 to $30,000. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to a $10,000 fine and up to 2 years in the state jail facility.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
That is correct.
Mr. Ibanez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you have been represented?
Yes, yes, I am.
Did you understand if you were not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you could be deported, not allowed to re-enter into the United States and be denied naturalization?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, there's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication and they're taking in consideration 2025 CR 009645. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you can cross over.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna read
sure.
it again.
All right. You're welcome. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, and no contact with Mary Escalona. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead?
Yes.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements
Yes.
and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
If we may, Your Honor,
Anything you would say on behalf of your client?
respectfully requesting this court follow the negotiated plea bargain agreement, Judge. I know that there was an issue with the U-Haul. My client states that he had lent it out to another person who was supposed to have turned it in. That was probably ill-advised, not the best judgment to rely on someone to carry through his contractual obligation. Needless to say, the truck has been returned to U-Haul as per ADA Megan Galloway. So U-Haul did receive the truck, and don't believe there's a restitution amount now as to maybe some of the profits they may have lost out on not having usage of the truck, Judge. There was another case also associated with Mr. Ibanez. He came into court today to answer for the theft charge, and it seems there was a fraudulent use charge that was indicted. Client states that he unfortunately had to resort to dumpster diving to sustain himself. He's fallen on hard times, Judge, but he has indicated he does not have substance use issues or mental health issues. He's just monetarily struggling. We're respectfully asking if the court does follow the agreement that the $1,000 fine be probated, Your Honor. If the court sees fit to recall the warrant for the fraudulent use of possession of identifying information, we'd respectfully request that as well, Judge, please.
All right, and that case taken in consideration?
Yes, Your Honor. That's the
That's
sentence.
okay. So, are you employed?
No,
So how are you supporting yourself?
I'm diving and scavenging for everything that I possibly can,
Well,
just
do
to
you
eat, just to eat and
do you
survive.
have a place to live?
I'm working on
So where are you living?
it. I'll try.
Okay. So why did this come about,
You mean
the U-Haul incident?
just someone that I knew said that they needed to use one and borrow one, and I was renting actually from storage. I had a current storage at that time, and she talked to me and kind of letting them, renting it for them, and next thing I know, I didn't even know. I was told that they returned it, was returned with the keys and everything. And a year later, when I got arrested, so I really wasn't kind of aware of the situation had been. But I was under the assumed that it had been turned in, and that was the deal. I rented it for them, and that was it. And
So do you have any family here?
I have a cousin here. That's where I have a mailing address too.
So where is your hometown?
Here.
No, I mean your hometown. Where were you born and raised?
Actually, well, I mean, I spent a lot of time here. I have a lot of history here.
So is all of your family in Roswell?
No, my mom was in El Paso, and outside of El Paso, a little town called Van Horn.
Mhm.
And that's where my mom is, and that's pretty much all I have.
So is there anything here for you? Because I will tell you, being on probation is difficult or not. I can imagine it's extremely difficult if you don't have a support system and you're telling me you're living out of your vehicle. Maybe, you want to live where family are.
Been considering that. I moved back here from my daughters. And
Well, I asked you, who are your family here, and you didn't mention any daughters. So how old are they?
they're old. They're older. They're 18 and 28. But I mean, they don't talk to me anymore. I haven't really.
Why is that?
I have no idea.
You have
I've
to
been
know
trying-
why
I've
your
been trying to
children are
figure
not.
that out. Judge, I've asked them, and I haven't gotten any reason why.
Well, let me ask you this. Were you a good father to them?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your idea of a good father?
I raised them.
All right, so that's odd that they wouldn't talk to you.
That's why me and their mother don't talk very well. I'm not sure if it's, I haven't found the reason why. So cheap. I'm still trying to find that out.
Mhm.
You're gonna get me emotional. I mean, it's just where I'm at.
So you're saying you raised them, but they won't talk to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, once we got a divorce and stuff, they weren't with her, you know, but we were still in very good terms. When I was in the oil field working and stuff like that, I used to go to Paso and see them all the time. I worked to stay in their lives, you know what I mean? And it just, at some certain point in time, they stopped talking to me, and I couldn't figure out why. I've always tried to be in their lives, but this time, my ex just kind of
Okay.
said that, you know.
Well, I
wasn't
will
gonna
tell
allow-
you, you're gonna have to start taking a internal, evaluation of your life and find out whether or not being in San Antonio is best for you. If you decide that you want to leave to be near family, if you let probation know, we'll have to do a transfer of your probation to another place. You understand? All right. But in this court, you're going to have to get employed. You understand? Court is going to sentence you to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's $1,000 fine to be probated. Take in consideration 2025 CR 009645. The warrant should be recalled in that case. There's to be no contact with Mary Escalona. Proof of employment within 45 days. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And here's the thing, you're going to get drug tested.
At this point, Judge Boyd shifts the hearing away from the theft charge itself and starts focusing on something far more important: stability. Legally, deferred adjudication probation is designed for defendants the court believes can realistically succeed under supervision. But Richard's situation immediately raises serious red flags. He has no employment, no stable housing, limited family support, and openly admits he's scavenging to survive. That combination creates enormous concern for any judge because probation requires structure, reporting, transportation, compliance, and accountability. Notice how Judge Boyd carefully probes deeper into his personal life instead of just discussing legal paperwork. She's trying to determine whether there's any real foundation for rehabilitation here. And when Richard reveals he moved back to San Antonio for his daughters, despite barely having contact with them anymore, the emotional weight of the hearing intensifies dramatically. The courtroom is no longer evaluating just a crime. It's evaluating a man whose entire life appears to be unraveling. This becomes the defining moment of the entire hearing. Judge Boyd asks a direct question about drug use, but what makes the exchange so powerful is that she gives Richard one final opportunity to choose honesty. When he finally admits he used drugs yesterday, the courtroom dynamic completely changes. Suddenly, the judge can connect the instability, the homelessness, the fractured relationships, and the missing accountability into one devastating picture. And then comes the line that hits harder than any legal punishment. That's the reason why maybe your children don't have contact with you. That statement cuts straight through every excuse presented earlier in court. Judge Boyd isn't humiliating him for entertainment. She's forcing him to confront the possibility that his choices have damaged every major relationship in his life. It's a brutally honest courtroom moment, and you can almost feel the emotional weight hit the defendant in real time. The real question now becomes, will this finally wake him up, or is it already too late? Judge Stephanie Boyd ultimately gives Richard Ibanz something incredibly rare in felony court: another chance. But this is not freedom without consequences. Instead of immediate jail time, the judge constructs a tightly controlled rehabilitation plan designed to force accountability at every level. 4 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours of community service, random drug testing, sober support meetings, felony drug court referral, employment requirements, field visits, and constant probation monitoring. Every condition sends the same message: excuses are over. What makes this hearing unforgettable is how Judge Boyd dismantles the emotional defenses surrounding the case. She recognizes the hardship, the homelessness, and the desperation, but she refuses to let those struggles erase personal responsibility. By the end, the courtroom transforms from a theft hearing into a stark lesson about addiction, fractured family relationships, and the painful reality that rebuilding your life starts with honesty. If you found this courtroom breakdown as intense as we did, Make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns and real legal drama.